Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the action here at Kotai Arena. Once again, proudly being brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated. This bout in association with Ala Boxing Promotions. Tecate con Carácter, Anta, Foreman Boys Promotions, and our host, the Venetian Macau. This bout set for a limit of 10 rounds for the WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight Championship. Damas y caballeros, este duelo pactado a un límite de 10 vueltas por el título peso Super Gallo Asia Pacífico de la OMB. Supervisor, Leon Panoncillo. The judges are, los jueces son Sawa Eng Tawikun, Salvan Lagumbay, and Takeshi Shimakawa. The referee, Danrex Tapdasan. Introducing the blue corner, he steps in wearing black with pink trim, presentando la esquina azul, vestido de negro con vivos color rosa. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 122 libras. He tipped the scales at an official 122 pounds. As a professional, he maintains a record consisting of 23 victories against 5 losses, 1 draw, and 8 of those victories coming by way of knockout. A nivel profesional, mantiene un récord de 23 victorias, con 5 derrotas, 1 empate y 8 de sus victorias por la vía del cloroformo. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, Konosuke Tomiyama. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, vestido de color blanco con vivos negros, he steps in wearing white with black trim. His official weight, 121.6 pounds, su peso oficial, 121.6 libras. A nivel profesional, se mantiene invicto con 21 victorias, 8 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. He steps in undefeated in 21 professional bouts, 8 of those victories coming by way of knockout. El actual campeón peso Super Gallo Asia Pacífico de la OMB. He is the defending WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight Champion. From Bacolod City, the Philippines, Genesis, Servania.
Genesis, come on. Okay, give me a good clean fight. 10 rounds, WBO Asia Pacific Championship. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck. Swing. Ready? Box.
Welcome back to Macau, second of our bouts on TopRank.com. We're seeing it live around the world, and this is one we've been looking forward to. Super Bantamweight battle. Genesis Servania is the defending WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight champion against Konosuke Tomiyama, a long-rangey fighter out of Tokyo, Japan, and he is down quickly. A sudden and dramatic turn that this fight takes immediately. Taking the mandatory 8 count. Just about to tell you that Tomiyama has actually fought for the World Championship a couple of years back against Nobuo Nishia and had him down in the first round, but it is he who goes down in the first round of this bout. Servania, very quick start. Servania's nicknamed Bazooka comes into the ring with a record of 20-0. Only 7 KOs. Not a big KO mark, but as you can see, he is not devoid of power, and he lands a good left hook there. And a very rocky start for Tomiyama. Servania looking great here in the opening moments, and now Tomiyama comes back with his first combination of the fight. And here comes Servania, and these two are throwing the leather early. Tomiyama trying to get himself into the fight now. A little bit different after that very rocky first minute. And he scores a knockdown with a left hand. Both fighters have tasted the canvas here in round one. Mandatory 8 count for the champion, Servania. Here comes Tomiyama back. And now we are getting the fight we expected. Good jab by Tomiyama. Konosuke with a very good comeback. Tries that uppercut, and now here comes Servania. Chases him to the ropes and back out to ring center. Servania trying to regain the momentum that he had built up in the first minute. Very aggressive, as you can see, he's up on his toes. That's his style. Oh, and a fine left-right combination by Tomiyama. Stops Servania on his tracks. Servania tries to answer back, and the champion is down again. Second time he is down. 3 knockdowns in round one. And you just saw a red-hot first round.
Love it, Rich.
Rich Murata ringside in the Kotai Arena as you look at Tomiyama, joined by Christina Poncher at ringside. And I'll tell you, Christina, the fans enjoyed that first round.
Absolutely.
We'll take a look at what happened in the first round. Servania came out and landed that beautiful left hook, thrown perfectly. That sent Tomiyama down for the count of 8. It was a solid knockdown. You're looking at Servania, who was in total control at that point, and ended up going down twice himself. As we get ready to start round 2, as we will bring Christina Poncher into our equation here, as Tomiyama starts out fast. These fans are into it, Christina. You know, sometimes in Asia, some of the crowds get rather quiet and they sit back and they watch, and they were into that first round. No knockdown.
They definitely were. That was one of the things I noticed last time when we had a Filipino fighter or a Thai fighter. They were very much into the fight, and this fight right here, pitting a Japanese against a Filipino, they're very much interested in this fight. And I think as the night grows and you see more action, we'll hear this crowd really make some noise.
Both of these fighters with a lot of movement. In my study of Servania, it seemed to me that he kind of wastes a lot of motion with his arms and his constant up on his toes, jumping up and down. But so far he's come through it. You know, you can't complain about a 20-0 record.
No punch, ready.
But he does utilize a lot of energy, and he certainly got caught with that second knockdown. The first was a flash knockdown. He was actually knocked down by a jab, but the second knockdown was solid.
I did not see that coming after how the fight started.
No, it certainly didn't. It was an amazing turnaround. It happened so fast, in fact, in the first round. I was just about to tell you about the Nobuo Noshiro fight for Tomiyama when he fought for the WBA championship in '09. He was stopped in 8 rounds, but he had the champion in a bad way in the first round and knocked down. And this fight is full of action in round 1 and now into round 2. Yama wild with that overhand right.
Box.
Some blood there on Genesis Servania. It looks like a little bit on his right eyebrow.
I will keep an eye on that as he comes forward. Good aggression, missing that left hand, however. You saw that he's setting down nicely on his punches. Servania's record, his knockout record, I started to mention to you, is a bit misleading. He has more power, I think, than what you would think with a guy with 7 KOs and 20 fights. It's perhaps only recently that he's really learning how to punch.
Go there. Konosuke, go there.
Tomiyama's going to be sent to a neutral corner. We're going to take a look at the cut. There you see it spurting at the right eye. The doctor says no problem, carry on, and so they do. Tomiyama, long-rangey fighter, goes right back to that jab. With those long arms, pushes it out to set up his straight right hand.
10 seconds, top of the bell, 10 seconds.
As you might have seen in his walk into the arena and his entrance into the ring, he likes to play to the crowd. He's an entertainer. He walks back to his corner.
Even got the tassels on the shoes there.
Mina. Ini lah bandi kah? Ayo pegangan.
Round 3 scheduled for 10. This is a WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight Championship fight. Genesis Servania. You see screen right, black trunks with the white stripe. Against Konosuke Tomiyama, Tokyo, Japan. He is in the black with the pink trim. We've seen a real good fight, very competitive here. Tough to pick who the winner of this one's going to be through 2 rounds. There were 3 knockdowns in the first round. Servania scoring the first one and now coming in and landing a beautiful right hand, sending back Tomiyama into the corner. Tomiyama then scored 2 knockdowns of his own in the first round, thereby, I'm sure, edging Servania on the judges' scorecards. Servania has been marked, cut on the right eye. Referee is Danrex Paksadan. I tell you, these have been meaty-like blows that both of these fighters have been landing in this fight. In his World Championship effort, if you take a look at it, Tomiyama fought this very well early, but he really ran out of gas, and he was stopped in the 8th round. He just had nothing left in that round. So it will be interesting to watch to see how, if this fight goes a distance of ground, how he reacts in the later rounds. Servania has had good stamina in his fights. He's been the 10 and 12 round distances on a number of occasions. Very nice combination by Tomiyama. Servania answers right back, but Tomiyama's was the more effective. Now Servania with the left hook. He never stopped bouncing.
I wonder, Rich, how long he can keep up that pace. I mean, like you said, he's constantly bouncing his arms, constantly moving.
It's difficult. It seems to me to be a lot of wasted energy, but that's... Hard right, and down goes Tomiyama for the 2nd time. 4th knockdown of the fight, and that was the worst one yet. He was really flattened, but he got up, and he seems okay. Seems to have his legs underneath him. And let's see what Servania can do. Hard right by Servania. Tomiyama in trouble. Back into a corner. Bell sounds. End of the round.
I don't know if he knows it's the end of the round.
But he needed it.
Very much so.
Miguel Diaz going to work on that cut, and Servania, as we take a look at the knockdown, a left hand and then the right hand over the outstretched left of Tomiyama. Well done. There's that right hand. I mean, a crushing right. We have had 4 knockdowns so far. This is the 4th of the fight, and each man has visited the canvas twice.
Ready. Genesis, ready. Box.
Fans definitely getting their money here at the Cotai Arena. As we start round 4 of this WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight Championship. I do think, if I'm looking at Tomiyama, that he looks still a little bit rocky. That knockdown coming right near the end of the round. But he's trying to get his jab going and try to get a rhythm once again. He was successful in the first round of being able to get himself, gather himself, and get himself back into the fight by utilizing that jab. And before the round was over, he had scored 2 knockdowns. Now he goes back to that formula here again. But Servania is undeterred and comes forward with that strong left. I'll tell you, Genesis, when he throws that left hook, really has good leverage on it. And now you see what I mean. You know, it's almost hard to believe, as you take a look at Servania, that he has only scored 7 KOs in his 20 victories. Some fighters learn to punch better, learn how to sit down in their punches, learn to get proper leverage in their punches as they go along and develop. And now Tomiyama mounting his own comeback and getting a little bit encouraged, and the crowd sensing that as well, urging him on. I get the feeling there's really no crowd favorite here in this fight. They're rooting for both guys, pulling for both men. They've just been enjoying what has been an intense action between these two. Tomiyama does have the good jab, but he is susceptible to the left hook from long range by Servania. Nice combination. That's a good 1-2 that Tomiyama has. Now he comes forward. He pushes Servania up against the ropes, and here comes Genesis back. Servania is known as a guy who throws a high volume of punches. And the one thing I like about him, and in seeing him, is that he has a wide variety of punches. He mixes up his attack. Good arsenal.
Ready.
But he has been shown that he can be hit and hurt here tonight. And dropped. As he has been on 2 occasions.
Step back.
Tomiyama decides it's a good time to hold on here. Now, let's just under half a minute to go in round number 4.
10 seconds. Stop the bell.
Oh, beautiful left hook by Servania. Gets Tomiyama in trouble. Staggers back against the ropes and his hit with a hard left hook right at the end of the round. And staggers back into his corner where he drops on the stool.
What a battle. The crowd that got here early, which is a good amount, Rich. If you kind of look around, a good amount only in the second fight here.
Well, that's what I like to see. This fight, the fans arriving very early and seeing these deep undercard fights, and they're getting rewarded with a tremendous fight. At the end of the round, it was Servania scoring that left hand to the head that really had Tomiyama in a bad way. Look at him. He has that blank look on his face as he goes back to his corner. There's Miguel Diaz, the famed Miguel Diaz. One of the best in the business, longtime veteran, working on that cut in the corner. This fight very much up for grabs as we begin round 5. It is scheduled for 10. Super bantamweight battle. Each man has been down twice. Servania suffering from what is a tough cut. They have had a tough time stemming the blood. And now Servania loading up.
Ready.
very enjoyable bout. Tell you come out here to Macau and you visit this magnificent hotel, the Venetian Hotel. Terrific arena here where Manny Pacquiao will fight November 23rd against Brandon Rios. You'll see this big future here in Macau. Hope you're enjoying it. And in the United States, of course, fans getting up early to see this one. And they too are being rewarded like the fans in the stands. Boy, Servania tried to load up with his right. Usually he starts off those exchanges with his good left hooks. That time tried to lead right. Tomiyama also has a very good right, but usually it follows his jab. Good counter left by Servania.
He really comes on the second half of these rounds. Servania does.
And I tell you, he's throwing just punches that are like bricks.
Absolutely.
Digging that right hand underneath. Still up in his toes, though. And, you know, it's hard to generate power when you're doing that, all of that jumping. But he is certainly, in his last few fights, he has been generating power, and he's certainly generated it tonight against a quality opponent. Remember, as we mentioned, Tomiyama has fought for a world title. 23-5-1 in his career. Title he fought for was at 115, so this is a much bigger weight for him here at Super Bantam.
Step back. Step back. Come in. Ready? Box.
This arena, by the way, inside they have 6 videos boards for the fans to, I mean, you're going to be close up to the action. Long range right hand, and again, right at the end of the round, Tomiyama finds himself in a little trouble. And he is beginning, as I see him walk back to his corner, to get a bit of a jaded look on his face, and I believe to be wearing down now. Sits down hard on the stool. Across the ring here, looking at Miguel Diaz going to work on both eyes. And there are no shortage of ring card girls or dancing girls in the arena. And I even saw the Zhu Shiming dancers yesterday in the lobby of the hotel, going through a routine just out of nowhere. They came into the lobby, music came on, and the next thing you knew, they were doing a dance.
They're in the business of entertaining here, the Venetian Macau.
Box.
Here we go into round number 6. Servania seems to be gaining control, I believe, of the fight at this point. Scheduled for 10. And they set a torrid pace through the first 5 rounds. Rich Murata ringside at the Cotai Arena. Very happy to be joined by Christina Poncher here at our ringside table. I want to give a shout out to the great Colonel Bob Sheridan, who you see so many times, of course, internationally and on these top-ranked broadcasts, international broadcasts throughout the world for so many years. And the Colonel recently had heart surgery, but he's already bounced back. He is home. He is wisecracking and joking. I got an email from him today that he was typical jokes in there, and it was great to hear from him, and we wish him all the best. Glad he's recovering very well. He'll be back at the mic very soon. Nice combination by Tomiyama as he tries to regain some momentum. He even dug a right hand to the body. Tomiyama's been mostly a headhunter through the fight.
Rich, I've noticed Tomiyama shaking his right hand a lot, just throwing that jab out with the left, but not really throwing the right with much force. I don't know if it's causing him a little bit of trouble, but he's been kind of shaking it, letting it loose, and as you can see, just not really throwing the right hand.
Maybe that's when he threw it hard, he threw it to the body. That's Servania. Servania really has a nice there. Once again, he was a good pickup there. Christina, he was waving that right arm. Let's see if he shows it anymore to the head. He threw that one hard right that he's thrown in this round was to the body of Servania. A one-armed fighter against Servania is going to be in some real trouble. Now Tomiyama comes over the top, and I see a smear of blood on Tomiyama's face as well. I think coming from the nose as he tries to flash out his jab. And as you can see, that they're doing better with the cut now on Servania. It's not bleeding as much as it was midway through the round. With a hard right, Tomiyama in some trouble, staggers back a second, started to teeter a little bit. Glances over at his corner. Right back to the jab goes Tomiyama. We've got another terrific bout coming up after this one. You don't want to go anywhere. Rex So against Rusali Samor. Little counter right by Tomiyama, at least showing it there as we come to the end of the round. Konosuke looking a little worried in his corner, and there's the reason why. He's getting nailed with those right hands. His eyes were wide open, though, and they seemed clear in the corner, but as you can see, right at this point, he was in a little bit of trouble. Both fighters have been bloodied.
Not a very active round for Tomiyama that past round.
No, he seemed to be fighting actually through a fog a little bit in that last minute.
Definitely.
But as they start the round, he comes right out jabbing. I think that's a good idea for him. He needs to establish himself, get his legs back underneath him, and try to get his rhythm once again. And the best time to do that, and the best way to do that, is to go right back to fundamentals. And for Tomiyama, that means going back to his jab and trying to set things up once again. Genesis Servania, you may have doubted can bounce for 12 rounds or 10 rounds, is still bouncing here in round number 7. And a good mix of styles between these two. It's been high action and hot action between them. 4 knockdowns, we mentioned earlier. The two fighters were both down in the first round. Tomiyama scored 2 knockdowns. Servania scored 2 knockdowns. Servania really digging that left. I think if he was not up on his toes so much, he really would generate a little more power than he has throughout his career. But he's shown that he does have power. He's not devoid of power despite that low knockout ratio. Of course, tonight in the main event, and a very good card here that also has heavyweights. Andy Ruiz against Joe Hanks on it. Later on, Zhou Ximing, the Chinese gold medal winner, 2-time gold medal winner actually, will be making his second professional start. That fight will be aired. For those of you in America, you can watch that fight tonight on HBO 2. Nice to see the broadcast crew of Larry Merchant, Tim Ryan, George Foreman yesterday. George holding court at the press conference for Pacquiao and Rios today was very funny, as usual. Tomiyama not having a bad round here. Actually, he's having a pretty good bounce back round. He seems to have found a little bit of a rhythm. Now Servania himself trying to utilize a jab. I would guess that Servania is ahead on points at this juncture, but Tomiyama showing he can still summon up some strength and energy, but there's that good left hook. I love the left hook that Servania throws. He can really dig it to the body too, body or head. Nice jab work though by Tomiyama. Comes up with an uppercut there.
Time!
End of round 7. What an enervating fight. They're late getting the school into the ring for Tomiyama. Now they do. As we take a look at the action, Servania from long range doing real work there. Tomiyama taking a moment off, but still able to counter with the left hand. Tomiyama looking a little discouraged in the corner. Round 8, scheduled for 10. WBO Asia Pacific Super Bantamweight title on the line. Now there's one that you may not have heard of in the United States, for those of you watching in the U.S., but it means a lot here, because we are very much in Asia. We have a Japanese fighter against a Philippine fighter here. We'll have a Thai fighter against the Chinese fighter in our next fight. Good right hand by Tomiyama. I tell you, I thought at the end of round 6 that Tomiyama had just about had the course. He answered a nice bounce back round on that 7th, utilizing the jab, getting some rhythm going. It would appear to me that the harder puncher at this point is Servania. Tomiyama's having good fortune with his boxing ability. Best for him to keep the fight at long range. When Servania gets within punching range, it's good for him with that left hook. Left hook to the bodies especially. Tomiyama not playing to the crowd now.
Ready. Box.
Servania turned pro in 2009. He had 7 fights in his first year. Last year went through 3 fights. This is his second fight this year. His first one was against Anke Angoda, so he's fought good competition himself. We mentioned Tomiyama had fought for a world title, but Servania, his last fight against Anke Angoda, and he stopped him in 7 rounds. And Angoda's a guy who we've seen in the ring for the distance with Jorge Arce. We've seen him fight Fernando Montiel, so he's been in there with very good fighters recently, really picking up his level of competition. And this is another tough opponent here for him.
Step back. Konosuke. Ready.
I'm not exactly sure what Tomiyama was looking at, except maybe one of the mini video boards, because he was staring up into the skies. Dropping his arms there, and again appearing a little bit tired is Tomiyama. And you can certainly understand why. This fight was fought at a ridiculously high energy pace in the first 4 rounds. Nice combination and a follow-up right by Servania. And another right that was partially blocked by the shoulder of Tomiyama. Tomiyama answers back with a right of his own, and here they go again as the bell sounds to end round 8.
End of these rounds, Rich.
Yes, the last 15 seconds of almost every round are scorchers.
You had earlier mentioned the fighters from different countries, and looking at the voucher here, seems to be about 8 different countries represented on tonight's card in the entirety. Pretty unique.
Very unusual. I think, really, taking a look at this card, to have that many fighters from different countries, I don't think I've ever seen a professional card, and I've been calling a lot of fights for a lot of years, that had this kind of international flavor in terms of having so many countries. You'd have to go to something like the Olympic Games to go to a fight card and see that many different countries represented.
I was counting and I'm like, here we go. Japan, Thailand, China, Mexico, USA, Russia, Philippines, Thailand, I mean, Japan. It's like the World Games here.
Yes, it is. And there is a fighter, in fact, Evgeny Gradovich, who fights later on the HBO 2 card that you'll be able to see later on tonight, who is known as the Mexican Russian. So,
right. So if that counts as another one, we'll make it 9.
For 2. That's his nickname. He fights out of the Robert Garcia stable.
Quite a personality. Yeah, we had some fun in the fighter meetings with him.
He's a very clever kid. We are in round 9. I think probably both fighters are happy this one wasn't scheduled for 12, because they have given it their all. 6 minutes remaining. I believe Servania's ahead on the cards, I would think, to this point, but Tomiyama's been very much in this fight. He has great moments, it seems, every round. Scored 2 knockdowns of Servania in the first round.
Did you think this was going the distance after how it started, Rich?
It certainly did not. And it may still not.
It may still not. We still have time.
Tomiyama having success with the right hand, first to the head, then to the body, and shoves an elbow into the face. And he wants to get right at his foe, and he's coming right at Servania. And as you can see, Tomiyama's encouraged by the success he's had.
Go there, go there. Headbutt.
Another cut for Servania.
And it's immediately called by referee Denrex Tapsadan as a headbutt. This fight may be over. It is. This fight is over. Now Tomiyama thinks he has won, and I do not believe that he has won. The referee, Tomiyama, thinks that he has scored a TKO victory. That is not the case. That is not the case. They are calling a headbutt. Do not be misled by that celebration of Tomiyama. There you see the terrible cut that was just opened, and they're calling it a headbutt, which means they are going to score the fight and score that last round. The referee is collecting the scorecards. Fight was stopped by the doctor in the corner. And that was an immediate decision, by the way, to stop the fight at that point. There was no hesitation on the part of the doctor informing the referee this has to stop right here.
The ring girl.
Tomiyama is going up to each of the ring card girls and hugging each one of them. Now, unless they have awarded the fight to Tomiyama, which I don't think they have, because the referee told the judges score the round. And he has settled down a little bit, so. We'll take a look at the end of the fight right now. comes in, and the referee looks at the cut, says time, waves Tomiyama to a neutral corner, and there you see him saying headbutt. Now watch this. Boy, the doctor said no right there.
They have to be going to the scorecards now, don't they?
That would be my interpretation, that the fight would have to be scored. Referee told the judges at the end of the round, score the round. I heard him clearly say, score the round.
See what Lupe has to say.
So Lupe Contreras will give us the official verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. After an accidental clash of heads, referee Taptasan stops the bout with an official time of 1 minute 42 seconds of the 9th round. And in accordance with the rules of the WBO, we go to the scorecards to determine a winner. Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor. El referee Taptasan para la contienda por causa de un choque de cabezas accidental y de acuerdo con las reglas de la OMB, consultamos a la tarjeta oficial para determinar un vencedor. The scorecard reads as follows. Judge Shimiyama scores the bout 87-82 in favor of Servania. Judge Shimiyama scores the bout 87-82 a favor de Servania. El juez Tawi-kun 85-84 a favor de Tomiyama. Judge Tawi-dun scores the bout 85-84 in favor of Tomiyama. And Judge Lagumbay scores it 86-83. El juez Lagumbay anotó 86-83 a favor del ganador por decisión dividida técnica, in favor of the winner by way of technical split decision. And still, WBO Asia Pacific Champion y aún campeón peso super gallo Asia Pacífico de la OMB, Genesis Servania.
Well, there it is, just a tremendous battle between these two. Hope you fans enjoyed it. Everybody here did. There you see the first knockdown, a terrific left hook scored by Servania in the first round. Tomiyama came back, scored a knockdown actually with a left jab moments later. Then Tomiyama really came on and scored a very legitimate knockdown there with the overhand right. He was cut in the second round. Referee looked at it, said it's okay, and then he scored a fantastic knockdown in round number 3 that you can see Tomiyama needed some time to recover from. And from then on, it was just hammer and tong back and forth, the two of them, each at moments having moments of control. And in round number 8, it was Tomiyama coming on, backing Servania up. Then, in the 9th, the cut from the headbutt, referee and the doctor conferred. It was immediately stopped at that point. They went to the scorecards, split decision. Genesis Servania, winner and still champion.